Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is True Hill Heat. And I said it right, you motherfuckers.
Alright, this is Danhausen here, very nice, very evil. You are watching True Heel Heat. Probably should have had MJF do this, but here we are.
Welcome to True Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3, and we are back once again for another The Boys Season 5 review. This time, we are discussing The Boys Season 5, Episode 4, King of Hell. We're back with another review of The Boys Season 5. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us for the premiere of this video. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand as well. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out so much. You can also share this video with all The Boys family, friends, and fans on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching us on demand, you can do a couple of things to help us out. Drop the thumbs up, like I said before. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought about The Boys Season 5, Episode 4, King of Hell. And hit the hype button if you're watching us on demand. That helps us out so much. Let's hype this up. Show your support to our boys content so we can keep it going to the end of the season, and maybe we can do some retro reviews of season 4, season 3, season 2, season 1. We'll do a recap, rank the seasons, rank the characters. We can do a whole bunch of boys content, but we need y'all to show your support in those ways. And if you're watching us on the premiere, sound off in the live chat. Love to interact with all of you in the comments, in the live chat. Helps the conversation going, helps you give your takes on The Boys Season 5, Episode 4. So far, so good with The Boys Season 5. I think it's been an improvement on where we were in Season 4, which I still believe, spoiler alert for our season ranking, still believe this Boys Season 4 was not a good season, not the best season. Seems like they got some things off track in that season, but Season 5 has been correcting the course and been back on the same page. I thought the first 2 episodes were excellent. I thought the last episode was good. This episode was more of a filler episode to some, but I thought that the character work and the dialogue, the interactions that we saw throughout this episode were very interesting and gives us a window, a glimpse into what we're going to see further down the line in The Boys Season 5. But without further ado, let's get into it. The Boys Season 5, Episode 4, King of Hell. This episode begins with Homelander asking Firecracker to spread the word that he is God after his vision with Stillwell. There was Stillwell from the last episode, and him thinking that he is the God born again, Jesus Christ, whatever it is, with his breast milk that he drank from the invisible angel that he saw. Firecracker plays along despite finding it sacrilege. She is a very stout Christian, and she does not agree with any of this, but she is also scared for her life because she knows Homelander will kill her if she disagrees. Meanwhile, we go back to the boys' hideout, and Butcher brings Ryan there to the base, and he to lecture him on, trying to go fight Homelander. He gives him a whole speech about Star Wars and makes the whole analogy that Ryan is Luke Skywalker and Homelander is Darth Vader. He spoiled it for Ryan because he never showed him. Apparently, he only showed him one of the Star Wars films, and it was one of the newer renditions and not the original trilogy. However, Ryan runs off thinking that Butcher never cared about him, so we'll see if that relationship gets to be mended in the next couple of episodes. Frenchie claims it will take weeks to replicate the soup killing virus. Huey, passive aggressive to pretty much everyone in this episode, suggests taking the risk to search Fort Harmony for V1 to save Kimiko, Annie, and Butcher, even though he feels like Butcher does not want to live at this point. Kimiko says, "Who's going to watch Ryan?" And that's when Butcher reveals that Ryan ran off. And Huey's like, "Oh, I wonder why," being passive aggressive. And Butcher calls him out and says, "Oh, you care to tell us where Annie's at?" So they throw in shade towards each other either way throughout this episode. Meanwhile, we see where Annie has gone. She's gone to visit her father, Rick, since he too abandoned his loved ones as she did. There, Annie learns that he is a cop and that he has a teenage son, her brother, Mason, who thinks that Annie is a terrorist because of everything that Vought and Homelander has been spreading about her and the Starlighters. Elsewhere, Sage tricks Soldier Boy into sabotaging Homelander by claiming the father-son duo can be immortal together. And she knows what she's doing. She's the smartest woman in the world, and she knows everything she's saying to Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy is going to basically sabotage Homelander in his trip to Fort Harmony himself to try to get the V1 so he can be immortal and stay clear of the soup-killing virus. Soldier Boy can help Homelander look for V at Fort Harmony, and Soldier Boy clearly hates this idea, but he goes along with it because he does not want to live an eternity with his son. Deep realizes just how much he missed out on seafood while eating sushi. He is interrupted by Black Noir, who finally took his mask off, and it is the same Black Noir from last season. And apparently, what Deep was saying about it being a deep character, trying to get into the character and being a method actor, it was all true. That's what he was trying to do by keeping quiet. Noir warns him to watch his back for betraying him, and they have a very passive aggressive podcast where he says, fuck you. And Stupid say, what? And of course, Deep says, what? Because he's an idiot. Deep is the worst person on this show. I don't care. Homelander is a great actor. Deep is just the biggest scumbag on this show. We see that Old Father knows of Ashley's powers and they bond via BDSM. We hear them having a little bit of loving and making a whole mess of their bedroom. Old Father knows about the Ashley in the back of her head, says that he was making eye contact while they had sex, and that bitch basically tells Ashley that the church is going bankrupt, and she worries that it could ruin her presidential campaign because, of course, she's not satisfied with being the vice president. She wants to eventually become the president herself. While bouncing ideas for Homelander's marketing strategy, Firecracker realizes that they cannot sell Jesus beliefs anymore. They decide to give Americans an American God who will make the country great again. The fact that this was written like a year and a half ago, before all the Trump stuff with him putting the meme out that he was a god and everything, it really, the boys have become the live action Simpsons at this point with how much they are replicating what is going on with Donald Trump in the United States of America. It's quite fascinating how well they have depicted and gone down this line of this very delusional leader who has a god complex with Homelander, and it's very much art imitating life with Donald Trump. It's amazing. It's amazing work. It's amazing writing by the Boys crew. Old Father agrees, as this could save him from bankruptcy. He's like, American God means American money. He's very happy to hear this. On the way to the Fort Harmony Hospital, the boys find dead bodies and animals that have killed each other. While ranting, Huey insults Annie, calls her a bitch, which surprises both Frenchie and Kimiko. You could see he's starting to get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more agitated with everything around him. And this would become the case for all of our members of the boys, except for one. Similarly, we get Soldier Boy and Homelander. They start bickering with one another, and we learn the former also slept with Clara, aka Stormfront. So, is Soldier Boy did Soldier Boy procreate with Stormfront, which means that Homelander was in a relationship and sleeping with his mother? He's already got a mommy complex with the breast milk and the Catherine Stillwell. Oh man. Because Soldier Boy did confirm that, he said I slept with her a few times. And he was like, where is she now? And freaking Homelander says, oh, she's dead. And Soldier Boy asks him, did you see the body? And we never saw the body. So is Stormfront still alive? And he's just keeping her hidden away. And this is just getting the 3 degrees of separation, and all the interactions between Homelander and Soldier Boy have been quite exceptional so far this season. Once inside the hospital, the boys continue to take jabs at one another. Frenchie realizes that the compound V1 is infecting living things with explosive anger, making them want to kill each other. And his drug history makes him immune to it. Talking about all the copious amounts of shrooms that he's taken in his lifetime have basically worked out his insides, and basically his genes and his DNA is totally fucked to the point that he's immune to all of this, and he's not reacting to it in the same way that our boys are. You got Huey bickering with MM because of MM and Butcher working together and wanted to destroy the V1. You got Huey, who wanted the V1 to save Annie and Kimiko and Butcher, but they don't seem to be about that. They just want to destroy it so Homelander doesn't get it. So they start bickering over that. You got MM bickering with Butcher as well. You got Kimiko, who was getting mad at Frenchie for his lack of commitment towards her. Then you have Kimiko also getting mad at Butcher and MM, getting mad at Huey, and they start fighting. Meanwhile, we get Rick, who tells Annie that he avoids arresting Starlighters, but adds that he cannot risk his family's safety, so he can't speak out against them, against the cops and Walt. Father and daughter form a truce when Rick reveals that he is proud of Annie, and he reveals all these like news articles and movie ticket to her movie and everything that's been documenting her rise to stardom and, of course, downfall because of Vought as the villain in Homelander's story. He's been keeping tabs on her this entire time. It really was a nice performance and kind of trying to redeem Rick, because he did come off like a prick who left his family. So he's not completely redeemed in my eyes, if you ask me. But it is nice to see that he is still a loving father and still cared about Annie this whole entire time, and he didn't want her to be basically injected with compound V. So he was against all of that. The mother was a stage mom and kept giving her that and convinced her that it was a gift from God, even though she injected her baby with that shit. That mom is out there. Rick left Annie because he could not keep lying to her like her mother did, and he regrets not fighting for her despite his love for his daughter. Mason finally starts to bond with Annie when she goes up to see him, and she notices that he has a whole bunch of like Firecracker and Stormfront and Maeve posters on his wall, and of course a big ass bottle of lotion next to it. So he jerks off and he tells her, oh, I never had your picture up there. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You've been jerking it to your own sister until she became the villain of all. You was definitely jerking it to your sister. We all know, sir. We all know you ain't fooling nobody. And he was watching Deep's podcast also. So yeah, Mason, he sucks. He sucks. We got an LVP candidate for sure. They start to bond because Annie brings up how Rick used to take her to Dunkin' Donuts, but it was really to feed her his addiction to the donuts, and it was just a play. And Mason kind of feels the same way. So you see brother and sister start to bond there. Soldier Boy, meanwhile, he hesitates to enter the hospital, and we see chains all over the lab. The boys see that the last V1 sample has been stolen. Traces of heroin and super strength suggest the thief is one of the original Soup's bomb site, who we've heard about before, and we've seen him before in previous seasons of The Boys. And I think one of the spinoffs is based on bomb site. Let me know if you know the name in the comments down below. Rick's co-worker Ed shows up after Mason's initial report. Mason basically called and snitched on his own fucking sister. Just this kid sucks. I don't care if he's a teenager. He sucks. Ed threatens to shoot Annie. Annie's about to go off on her Starlight shit all over this dude, and he's about to die because you about to shoot at a Soup and she's immune to bullets. Like, what are we trying to do here? Rick calms the situation down in an attempt to finally stand up for his daughter. He was like, she's my daughter, and she's not any of the things that you do that you're talking about or that Vault have said. He brings up how they had Ed over every night after his divorce, and they've always been friends to him. They've been like a second family to him. So please look the other way and leave. Ed finally relents. He agrees to give Annie an hour to leave while she is touched by her father's gesture, and they finally have that father-daughter bond that she's always been looking for and she always wanted, thinking that her father left because of her. For Harmony, MM and Butcher discuss their plans to destroy V1, as it is too risky to be used as a cure against the virus. This infuriates Kimiko and Huey, leading to a physical fight between all four of them, while Frenchie's trying to calm them down, but also keep away for his own safety. Nearby, Homelander riles Soldier Boy up about his brother winning a medal. He exposes his father for being a rich kid who bought his way into the V1 clinical trial, and says that he knows everything about him, so he's not fooling him anymore, showing that aggression from the V1 that's in the air at the hospital. Soldier Boy does not react, but instead he tricks his son into a uranium cell that sickens Soups. Basically, it would kill a normal person, but for Homelander, it's like a very, very bad stomach virus that even has effect on his skin. Finally, Soldier Boy reveals how much he hates Homelander and his plan to destroy the last bit of V1 in the hospital. Butcher runs into Homelander and they have a confrontation. Other than Homelander and Soldier Boy, anytime Butcher and Homelander interact with one another, it's really the highlight of the show. You see the hatred permeating from Butcher, and you can see this weird love bond that Homelander has to him because he doesn't know anyone else who's as dedicated to him in trying to kill him and trying to destroy him and beat him. So he actually sees it as love that Butcher has for him, basically. Butcher runs into Homelander and he gloats that he's in this situation. Homelander realizes, though, that he doesn't have the virus anymore and promises to kill the non-believers like Butcher once he becomes God. Elsewhere, Huey, MM, and Kimiko get into a three-way fight where Kimiko loses her voice again and she has to start doing sign language. Frenchie runs into Soldier Boy and lures him into a room housing a vine monster. It is one of the original patients, Quinn, which Soldier Boy knows. He happens to be the reason behind the rage toxin. Frenchie tricks Soldier Boy into killing Quinn, destroying the toxin in the process and breaking the boys free from this trap of anger that would have killed everybody involved. Everyone regains their senses, and Soldier Boy cries, apologizing for killing Quinn. Meanwhile, Mason apologizes to Annie before she leaves after being forced by his father. This kid sucks. Rick hopes to see Annie again and tells her not to give up on her loved ones. Rick's new wife was very nice to Annie, cooked for her and everything, wanted her to, stay longer and stay for dinner and stuff. So you could tell that she actually does love Rick and wants to embrace his daughter. Homelander, meanwhile, finally breaks out of the cell, prepared to attack Soldier Boy. However, he's surprised to see the man emotional, and Homelander instead leaves him in a heap of his own regret over killing Quinn. Back at the hideout for the boys, Kimiko and Frenchie speak to each other about their differences. Of course, in the last episode, they had a nice talk where they see life after all of this is done. Kimiko wants to start a family, while Frenchie wants to go off and travel the world and not have anything bringing them down like kids. Kimiko realizes how she does not want to be part of Frenchie's chaos. And she says that, Frenchie thrives on the chaos while she wants to get away from it. And like she said, she wants to start a family. The two begin to question their relationship, and it seems like we have a soft breakup between the two. We'll keep our eyes on that as it develops over the next couple of episodes. Annie returns to the base and apologizes to Huey, who is glad to see her. Rick told Annie, you got to stay close to the ones that love you and never let them down and never run away from them, and let them always know how much you love them by being there and having their back. And he regrets the fact that he didn't do that for her. And Annie does apologize to Huey, and they share a nice kiss, and you can tell that this love, they're so tight. Like Frenchie and Kimiko have a fresh relationship. They just got together in season 4. So this is kind of the first hurdle they have to overcome. Meanwhile, Huey and Annie have been going through hurdles since they got together in season 1 of The Boys. And they've gone through so many different hurdles, from doppelgangers to one being with the 7 and the other being with the boys, all their differences, living together. They've been through it, all the ups and downs. And you could tell that this is they're soulmates. They're always going to be together. Butcher and MM, they share a drink, awkwardly patching things up between them as they watch tapes of Vought experimenting on Soldier Boy and Quinn. At the next service, they turn over to the All-Father service, where he mentions the divine rebranding. Ashley notices that Firecracker does not appreciate replacing Jesus with Homelander. And even Ashley, too, in the back of her head, lets her know that, Firecracker ain't about this. She ain't about this. She doesn't like this. She's reading her mind. All-Father renames the Samaritans' embrace to the Democratic Church of America. The Democratic Church of America is wild. DCA full life. Using his super scream to introduce Homelander as the Prophet of America. Homelander shows up and takes in the cheers. They even do this nice shot where they got the halo and the cross at the back of Homelander as he stands on the stage. And that was the end of The Boys, season 5, episode 4. And and what is it called? It's called the King of Hell. King of Hell. Oh, man. This was a funny episode. Like I said, a lot of people have been calling this a filler episode, but I think the interplays and the different relationships that we saw at hand, I really liked Annie going to see her father and seeing that whole dynamic, and seeing the father kind of redeem himself by standing up for Annie, and Annie learning something from her father and learning how much she loves and appreciates Huey and who he is, and that she even says that Huey's like her heart. I really like everything, the dynamic of the Fort Harmony stuff, even though it felt like something that It's not going to be very important to anything outside of Bomb Sight possibly stealing the V1 because of, the interplays. I liked it, though, because of the interplays between Homelander and Soldier Boy, who were really the stars of this episode. They did a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the humor, and the good dialogue between them. The whole Stormfront tease was very well done. Homelander knowing about Soldier Boy before he got injected with V1 was very interesting as well. And then Soldier Boy turning it back on Homelander and getting the better of him and putting him in the uranium cell. That was nice. Homelander interacting with Butcher was great. Great stuff whenever they interact, and that hatred kind of just screams off the screen when you're watching it. And all the interplay between the boys, I don't know if you could have got there without the air being in there, because this is how they really feel. This is kind of like when you're drunk and you say how you really feel about somebody or how you really feel in general. That's what it kind of came off as. And I wish we could have got there in a different way than the one that we got in this episode. But everything was really well done. It was very entertaining hour of television. And I like where things are setting up for the second half of the season, because this is pretty much the mid-season finale, I think. Because I think it's only 8 episodes. Is it 8 episodes or 10 episodes? I'm not sure, but this is we're in the middle. We're in the middle section. We're nearing the end game. So for season 5, episode 4, End of Hell for the boy, King of Hell for the boys. Let's put our thumbs in the middle, folks. If you're watching, join me as we give our thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle for King of Hell season 5, episode 4, The Boys, in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up for me. Once again, like last week, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was really well done with the interplays. Like I said, this could be viewed as a filler episode, but I think that the character moments and the dialogue between the characters was really well done, and it kind of got to what issues are going on within the boys, within Homelander and Soldier Boy's relationship at this part of our story. I like all the stuff with back at the vault and with the 7, where they're trying to figure out how to kind of pitch Homelander as this new god of the church and how that's going to work out. Old Father having the issues with the church. Ashley has become a very interesting character in this season as well, now that she has power. So I thought this was all well done, and this was a good episode. Not a great episode, but a good, very good episode indeed. MVP for this episode, I'm going to give it to Soldier Boy. I thought Soldier Boy was great with his interactions with Homelander, him getting the better of Homelander, putting him in the uranium cell. He killed Quinn and freed the boys from the rage-induced anger that they were going through and about to kill one another, even though he left him distraught in a way. I like all the interplays and the acting ability to go from very funny and abrasive Soldier Boy that we usually see into a more emotionally layered character who was distraught over killing one of his friends in Quinn by the end of the episode. I like the range of Soldier Boy right now. LVP for the episode is definitely Mason, Annie's brother, Rick's son. He was sucked. He's awful. He did not even care that Starlight was his sister. He freaking snitched. He's a snitch. He's a perv. And he's listening to the Deep's podcast, so he's probably ignorant as hell, like the Deep. So he's LVP for the episode. Moment of the episode, I'm going to give it to the Butcher and Homelander conversation. Homelander figuring out that Butcher no longer has the virus. That could be one of the key moments of this episode that will be looked back on, because if he realizes that Homelander, that Butcher and the boys don't have the virus, he can come at them at any time and try to kill them, even though Butcher is a soup now. It's going to be interesting how we close out this series and this season of The Boys. But that's my ratings that it might not be your ratings for this episode. So let me know in the comments down below. Let's keep the conversation going. Give me your MVP, your LVP, your moment of the episode, your thumbs up, your thumbs down, your thumbs in the middle. What did you think about The Boys Season 5, Episode 4? And if you haven't already, check out the rest of our reviews of The Boys Season 5. We did a review on Season 5, Episodes 1 and 2. We also had, just a couple of days ago, Season 5, Episode 3 dropped right here on the channel. And of course, check out all the great content we got throughout True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, like our Daredevil content, which we've been killing the game on. We had our Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again with 1. We did 2 and 3 together. We did episode 4, and the last one was just 2 days ago on Friday. We were live, me and Corey, for our Season 2, Episode 5, The Grand Design, and Episode 6, Requiem review. And we'll be back this coming Friday with our Season 2, Episode 7 review. So we're going to be live for Daredevil Born Again throughout the closing stretch of the season. 2 more episodes of that. So always stay locked here on True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And we're going to have plenty of content for you to enjoy this week. You got the clocking in are the pit reviews with Stat King and Chase. They did an NFL draft recap. Welcome to the dance, as they talked about the NFL draft 2026 on True Offseason that dropped earlier this week. And of course, we'll be back with True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment flagship when it comes to NBA basketball, True Heel Heat Check. We did our NBA playoffs preview, and we got a lot to discuss from the world of basketball with everything going on in the first round. Maybe we'll be back. I think we're going to be back later this week live here on the channel. Me and TC talking about the first round, and especially if my Lakers win on the day I'm recording this. We got Game 4 and we're up 3-0. Is TC going to be right when he joked Lakers in 5? Lakers in 5. Going to become Lakers in 4. Let's see. Let me know if you're watching this after the game what you think about that. And we'll be back with True Heel Heat Check this coming week. So a lot of great content for you to enjoy. A lot of great content at True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. Check out the flagship podcast from earlier this weekend where we broke down everything. WWE releases. We talked about WrestleMania 42, AEW Dynamite with the Instant Classic with Darby Allin and Tommaso Ciampa, CMLL, AAA, TNA, ROH. Y'all know the deal. The flagship is where we talk about the entire world of pro wrestling. So go over and check that out. And I'll be live on True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel tomorrow, 12:05 p.m. Eastern time, with our Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom review. Me and Scott Edwards, Scott E Wrestling. So stay locked over there. And of course, hit the subscribe button here at True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment as we make the march to 1,000 subscribers. I plugged everything, talked about everything I needed to talk about. You guys keep the conversation going and tell me all about The Boys Season 5, Episode 4. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been The Boys Season 5, Episode 4, King of Hell review. We are signing off until next time.